Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. I've got two projects for you today, as you can see, coasters and thinkers. This is for my friend Jan, who has ordered, well, she saw my video with the Jeep, and her husband has this Jeep. So she sent me a picture of the Jeep in the driveway, so I removed the background and I put it on a beach because that's where she wanted it. So she wants her Jeep in a coaster with all the ducks. So that's what I'm going to do, but I was going to do two and then she wants one, but I've already had two bases already poured. I was going to do this off camera. So since she wants the thinkers, I decided to just do it all together since I haven't started the coaster yet. So with the other one, I have cut out a piece of fabric. Red, white, and blue, you know it. So we're going to do the other one, just a random coaster, and I'm going to put fabric in it since I have not done that forever. And what I do is I just take a blank and I'm going to place it over the Jeep. She wants the front end like that, and I'm going to trace it, cut it out. Now I did take clear matte spray paint, I guess you would call it, sealer. I sealed the front and the back of this. This is printed on vinyl, glossy vinyl, but it's now matte because I sprayed it a couple times. So I wanted to spray it before it gets embedded into resin. She wanted the thinkers as well, and she wanted two in a deep blue and one in a pearly white. And I'm like, well, what funny thing is that? Because I just got this pearl white as a gift yesterday, and we're going to try it out today. So she couldn't choose between these two. This is the blue chameleon flakes, and this is the blue intense chameleon powder, but they go together. So we're going to do one of each of these, and this one's going to be the white one. These things hold 7 ounces total, and I think this one holds 3, so I have to do them separately. So before we do that, I'm going to cut out the Jeep. For this, I already put this tacket over and over on both of these, and it's dry. So it's ready to adhere this to it. It's ready to adhere that Jeep to it. So that's already done, but I have not prepared the fabric yet. I'm going to put Mod Podge front and back like 2 or 3 times until it's completely saturated in Mod Podge. Otherwise, you will see like what looks like wet spots in it when you pour the resin on, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to get this sealed really quickly and get that done, and then we will start. I've got the Jeep cut out and ready to go. So I'm just going to set that aside. I just put the first coat of Mod Podge on, and I'm just going to let that dry. I'm going to do like 3 coats because I need it to be perfectly sealed. So let's just paint this powder on these two while we wait. And then I will mix up some resin. So I think the coasters will be last because I really am not going to rush that Mod Podge at all. And these two are going to be backed in black just to make sure. I know it doesn't matter, but when it's in order, I just do it anyway. I could really back it in the pearl white to go with the other one, but I don't want to take a chance, even though I already know it wouldn't matter, but I don't want to do these twice. I seem to have to be doing a few things twice lately, so I don't want to do that. So get a good coat, the best that you can. And this one will change in the sunlight. It's color changing. It's got a purple hue to it, but I'm hoping it stays the deep blue because she really wanted deep blue to go with her new room that she just had finished. So hopefully it's good. Otherwise, we'll make some adjustments. We could always do them again. I don't want any unhappy customers, especially my friends. before I mix up resin, I've already placed this in. It's stuck there. I want to get all my ducks lined up. I want my ducks in a row and let these get cured or dried, I should say, not cured. I don't want to go too close to the edge because I don't want them on the edge. So I'm just going to glue these down with E6000 all in a little row, just like the other ones I did. And then I'm going to mix them separately because these are going to be probably different resins. So I'll get this on a fast forward for you and then we'll start mixing. I mixed up 8 ounces. I put some in here for this one that's going to be white, but she wanted some gray mixed in. I did not make any promises. So what I'm going to do for gray is mix white and black. And first of all, hope it comes out gray. And second of all, hope it doesn't mix together in the mica powder because micas do like to merge together. So I'm going to, of course, I forgot to put this in a small cup first. Try to mix this without it going everywhere and mix it really well now that I didn't put it in a small cup first. And seeing this is really pearly. I told her it would be really pearly, and then she asked if I can add crushed crystal because everybody loves crushed crystal. And then I'm going to mix white mica powder and black mica powder to see if I can get gray. And I do want to run everything through the vacuum chamber. This is my casting resin, so I have time to work with this. And even if it gets thick, I don't care because it would help this not run together. So for the little bitty cup, I'm going to do white and black because I do not have a gray mica powder. If I do, I don't remember having one. I could possibly have one. But instead, we're going to try it this way. See what happens. The other one, I'm just going to mix up my black pigment paste because it does not matter if it's sparkly or not. Oh, that's gray. That'll be a pretty gray if we see it. I'm just going to drizzle it in. I don't want too much in there. That's why I didn't mix up a whole lot. Set that one aside. Let me make sure this is opaque enough. It should be. And then the crushed crystal, I don't want to forget. Nice bit in there. And the more you mix that stuff, the more it disperses. And you do see it in a mica powder, so don't feel like you can't put it in there because it does sparkle through. I'm just paranoid I'm not mixing this mica powder enough, so now it's like I'm gonna overmix. Not that you can overmix, so don't get me wrong, new people. You really can't overmix unless you're mixing till it cures. Then I guess that's overmixing. I did prep a keychain. She said if I have any leftovers, she would like a keychain. So I threw some of the flakes in a keychain holder and also a pendant because I know I'm going to have extra, at least a whole ounce. So yeah, if you place an order and you already know what you want for your extras, that sure helps me out so I don't have to guess. Because you know you're going to get something extra from me. All right, that looks good. I'm going to throw these two in the vacuum chamber and then we'll pour. Let's pour the two easiest ones first. Can't spray them with alcohol now because of all the powder in there, so I'm gonna pour it slowly. And hopefully there will be no bubbles to deal with. These hold a little less than 3 ounces each, I think. They look bigger than they actually hold. All right, that one's domed. I think I'm going to start down by the feet. Ooh, just enough. Just enough. I don't know if I have enough to do a keychain with the black. Let me check. Possibly. Although I filled in a big keychain here. Oh, just enough. Almost like I planned it. I'm probably going to have more white left. That is like the perfect amount for one keychain. To the last drip. All right, now I'm nervous about the white and gray thing. I'm just going to spritz the back with 99% alcohol. This one I am going to spray with alcohol. And I'm not really sure how to do this one. I'm thinking maybe pour some gray in first. Kind of like a marbly effect. And then my white. That's what we're going. That's what I'm going with. And then maybe some gray. I don't think she wants too much gray, just a hint. Hopefully we get a marbling effect and not a gray effect. Woo! Yeah, I told you I'd have more white left over. So I will make her a couple of things. I don't know, maybe that gray is going to look pretty cool. So what I could do is fill this little pendant in with the gray. Give it a nice dark color behind. And then do something with the white for her. Or maybe I'll do like a gray and white. I have just a tiny little bit of gray left. Maybe I'll make her a gray and white one as well. Let's see. Just gonna squash that around there because that's all I have left. And pour some white over it. And if it doesn't come out good, then it doesn't come out good. No big deal. All right, I just got a little left. Let me figure out what to do with it, and I will be back as soon as the coasters are ready to pour. I got 6 ounces ready and debubbled, and what I did is I Mod Podged 3 times over the front of this, let it dry. I Mod Podged the back of it 1 time, let it dry. And then the tack, it wasn't really holding it down, so I put Mod Podge all over the white surface, tacked it down, let it dry, and smeared the rest. So this should be good. It should be good. Now, this one I'm gonna have to babysit, and I'm gonna have to top coat it because I took my ruler and I went across it and it's hitting a couple of the ducks' heads. So I poured too much white in the bottom for the ducks. We're gonna have to top coat a tiny, tiny thin layer when they come out. But this one, if you decide to do this one, you're going to have to babysit it at least an hour because when I pour the resin in, it's going to make its way up underneath all these ducts, all those openings, and the bubbles are going to pop up. And a bunch will happen in the beginning, even though I took the bubbles out, it's the air coming out from underneath them. So you definitely have to babysit this one, especially if it's for a customer. You don't want any bubbles coming up. So I'm just going to start pouring this one and fill it before I do this one. I'm not pouring the flag one as thick as this one. I'm only doing this one because I had the surface already poured and I didn't want to waste it. So I'm making a coaster out of it. And I wouldn't use a torch because you'll probably melt these little guys. So get yourself a long neck lighter to pop the bubbles with, or keep spraying it with alcohol too. That's fine as well. But if you dome it and you spray it with alcohol, you have the potential of having it come over the edge. So I just poured from eye level and there's multiple little heads sticking out. So unfortunately, this thing I used, I'm gonna use it here, but I cut this square so it's not curved the way you buy it at the store. And I was just squeegeeing this down to the glue. Oh, I see a little bubble under there. Hopefully that doesn't ruin it. Then I'll be wasting even more resin. So let me grab my lighter and start. I hope I don't melt their little heads with the lighter because their bubbles are definitely going to be coming up for a while. And then, oh, I was going to put some my gold dust. Since that one's for Bob, of course we're not going to put any sparkle in it. So hopefully my gold dust does not float in there. I'm just going to put a little touch. And this is pretty much the same as crushed crystal, except it's in gold. And since that already had gold sparkle in it, I'm just adding a little bit more. And see the white around the rim that I don't like? I'm gonna end up covering that with stones when it comes out. As long as the coaster's still in good shape when it comes out. That is the question. I'm only gonna pour it thin. I'm not gonna pour more than I want, more than I need. I'd rather do something with this extra because I don't want a really thick coaster. And if it has like a really bad lip on it, I'll end up top coating both of them at the same time. So I have some left. How much do I have left? I have 1 ounce left, so I will find something. Maybe I'll pour one of my little flowers and make a keychain. See, there's bubbles coming up and a little bit of something in there. So anytime you pour a clear coaster, you want to make sure it stays clear. So I'm not gonna leave it side for a while. I hope, oh, I didn't dome it bad enough to come over, okay. So let me get my little flower out here, this little one, and I'm going to find a color. I'm not sure which color. Let me pick a color and then we'll pour that. Well, you don't need to see me pour that. So I'll come back when these are ready to demold. See the bubble come up? That's what I'm talking about. For the next hour, that's gonna happen. So I'm gonna be shooting this thing for the next hour at it. These are ready to unmold and I have some of the extras finished. Here is one of the pendants with the flake on it. So I'm happy to see most of it is blue. And then here is one of the pendants with the white. I put a really pretty gold charm on there. And then the two keychains. Again, this is the one with the blue flake. And this is the white and gray one. So this was a happy surprise. I hope the thinker is just as nice. The other ones are cooling, so I can't unmold those yet. So let's get these unmolded. And I don't think she wants anything done to them. Then I'm not gonna know what to do with myself without spending an hour on my projects after I unmold them. It's gonna be like a vacation. Here's one of them. That is so pretty. Super pretty. I hope she likes the blue. I'm sure she will. I just need some trimming. I did over pour it a little bit. That might come right off too. Yep. And then this one is the flake one. And as soon as those coasters are ready, I'm going to top coat the duck one. I probably have to put some stones around the patriotic one, so I'm not completely out of the woods. And here's that one. Okay, it goes nicely. It's just a little bit different. Up close, you could tell a little bit more that they're flakes, but all in all, it's pretty close to the same, which is good because I'm sure they're all going in the same area. And then, da-da-da-da, what do we have for a marble? Oh, that is really cool. I see all the sparkle. I see my crushed crystal. There's gray. I think she's going to be very, very happy with that. I'm just going to take a nail file like this and do this off camera. You guys know how to file just to get that sharp edge off. There's really nothing to trim. So I will be back as soon as the coasters are ready. These seem safe to take out. I've got a couple of extras. I put some acrylic inks into these. And this one needs to be shined up. It's a matte mold, little baby cherub. So I usually like shine up, paint his hair, things like that. I don't know, we'll see what I do to it. And then two of my little flowers. Super pretty. And then this one's the same. And whoops, I'll make some keychains out of these beautiful things. Look at that sparkle, you guys. All right, here are the coasters. I had to babysit these like a hawk to the last second. And there were just bubbles very slowly coming up, but they were coming up. This one needs trimmed, but like I said, when you pour a deep mold and you're not doming it, there's a big lip going around. So anytime you do them, you're gonna have to finish the sides somehow. So I'm going to have to trim that. But I already knew I had to do something to the sides because I don't like that I can't cut by hand this circle perfectly. So I do wanna cover up those white edges. And then this one looks good, no bubbles. And I do need to, I'm going to trim that edge, well, file it down really. It doesn't really need to be trimmed. Here's the ducks. Super cute. No bubbles. It looks amazing. But like I said, these little ducks right here, their heads are sticking out. So I do have to top coat it and get those covered up. So let me prepare and get that ready. We are almost done, you guys. Here is the coaster. So I had antique gold rhinestones to go with the gold in the coaster, so I used that instead of white. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good. All right, and then this one, I painted his hair and the roses around his head, the little piece of fabric on him, and then I top coated him everywhere with UV resin. Shined him up a little bit, and I will put some magnets on his back. And then 2 identical keychains. Since there was gold flake in there, I used gold hardware. So I put some butterflies on these. These are just beautiful. For this coaster, I took an 80 grit sandpaper block and I sanded the whole thing down really well. And then wash it down with alcohol. If you don't trust yourself, you should tape the back, you know, in case it drips. But I'm using tabletop resin to coat everything because it sets up really fast. And I got 1/2 ounce here, and let me just get that piece of glitter off. We don't want glitter for Bob. And then all we're going to do is coat it and let it cure, and it'll bring the shine right back. And I will torch this one just to get all these bubbles out. And I need a good enough coat to cover these little duck heads. I tried to sand the heads down the best I could, but it's late at night. I can't ask Dawn to do it right now. So I think I got them good enough, otherwise he would have had to break out the big guns. But I think we should be good. They were just barely sticking out. I didn't even think about the ducks when I was pouring that first layer. I was just like 1 ounce, but it didn't even need 1 ounce to cover the bottom of that one, so that's why they're sticking out this time. Now when you torch it, it lowers the viscosity and it can drip over. So got to be really careful because I did trim that whole edge down. So there's nothing to hold it in. Then I'm going to let the bubbles rise again, and I'm going to torch it. I shouldn't have to babysit this one. There's really nothing to create the bubbles. So I'm just going to torch it until I don't see anything else. And then I'm going to let it cure. And that's pretty much it. You're seeing the conclusion. So what I will do next is just get you some final photos. And thank you guys now for coming in and watching. So stick around for those photos, and I will see you guys tomorrow at the new time, 6 o'clock. Don't forget. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye-bye.